FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh on Sunday the 6th of October 2024, back with my mostly weekly YouTube channel about counted cross stitch. It's a bit of a windy day, but it's quite sunny, so I've got my door open. You might hear gusts of wind. You might also hear my oven go beep beep in about 13 minutes and 47 seconds when I have some loaf in the oven. So I'll just jump up and grab that when that goes off. Yeah, thanks for coming back. I apologize for not being here last week. I had on Monday the 23rd, my great aunt passed away. That's my dad's Aunt Ivy that I have often talked about and often visited. I was going to go up for her around her birthday, which is this Monday. She would have been 103, so we obviously can't complain that she was, taken too soon, but there's a little bit of us inside that hope she might live forever. She was a wonderful lady, and in her, she was fully with it right up until the very end. But she had a really bad fall the week before, and it was quite traumatic. She had a lot of pain, and I think she just decided she was done. So I went up to Whakatane for her funeral. It was a packed funeral, bunch of generations of relatives. She married into a large family. She married my dad's uncle, the eldest of 10, and all 10 kind of stayed and bred in the Whakatane region. So there are cousins on cousins on cousins. Probably obviously she was the last of her generation. In fact, she's seen a majority of the next generation have already gone. But yeah, a whole bunch of cousins and third cousins and cousins 70 times removed. And it's sort of funny how people would come up and say, "Oh, I haven't seen you for ages. How are you? I know who you are." And I'll be like, "Oh shit." So my dad and his brothers and a whole bunch of cousins all had nicknames in the family. So my dad was known as Pee-wee to his relatives. Like whenever I'd ring my aunt and she was quite hard of hearing, she's going quite deaf, and whenever I couldn't really say it's Leigh, because all people hear is me, or they hear E and they think it's someone saying it's me. So she would say, "Who's me?" I mean, no, so for years I've always rung, "Hi Auntie Ivy, it's Leigh, Pee-wee's Leigh." And she goes, "Oh, how are you?" So she would know who I was. So anyway, people would come up to me at the funeral and say, "Oh, I haven't seen you for however many years," and blah blah blah. And I'll be like, would you say I was Pee-wee's daughter or Graham's daughter? And they would say Pee-wee's daughter. I'm like, okay, family. narrow it down the guessing. But yeah, lovely send off for her. She'd pretty much prepared it, and there was all of her grandchildren did the service kind of thing, read out bits from a memoir she'd written a few years ago, and we had a couple of little video clips of her. They played songs from the 20s, because of course she was born in 1921. It was a really lovely, funny, but I cried funeral. A real end of an era. So I did get back to Wellington on Sunday. I basically drove down Thursday after lunch. Funeral was Friday morning. I drove back Saturday night, actually, afternoon, but I hadn't done any stitching and I was tired. So Sunday, my normal FLOSSTUBE day, I could have done a FLOSSTUBE, but I hadn't much to show you, because pretty much, a few hours on Sunday, and then I didn't do anything until I got back on Sunday, the following Sunday. And I was just tired. So I'd come back on the Saturday because I had a friend in town wanting to catch up. We had a brunch date on the Sunday. I hadn't seen her since 2020. I stayed with her for a few days back when Dad was in hospital after his heart surgery. May or June, May-ish 2020. And I hadn't seen her since then. Like, we've chatted online and all that, but, you know, COVID and all that. But so it was really lovely to catch up with her for brunch and a friend of hers. And then on the Sunday afternoon, I went out over to my friend Anne and sat with her in the afternoon. We did a couple of hours of stitching, a bit of a nice quiet catch up, because I just needed to just have nice quiet time. And then she had kindly invited me for dinner, so I brought dessert, and we had and she cooked a lovely dinner. So it was really lovely, kind of, you know, just quiet week. Yeah, and this week in work has been insane. I actually took Monday off. I went to work and I got into the train station in Wellington with my heavy backpack and everything, and I sort of kind of got off the train and I was like, do I grab a coffee or do I get one when I get to work? And I just sat down at the train station for about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. I was like, I don't think I can go to work. And I thought, well, my backpack's super heavy because I had a book to drop off for a friend. I had my shoes, because I have shoes I leave at work, but I'd taken them with me to wear to the funeral, and boots. And I had boots, and I had lunch, and my bag was just really heavy. And I was like, I don't have it in me to walk up that bloody hill. So I thought, oh, you know what, I'll catch a bus. So I went up to where the buses go. There's a bus that goes up past my work on the way to the university. And then it was a lovely sunny morning, and I sat there waited for the bus, and then the bus came, and there were so many students getting on it, and I was just like, oh, I can't do this. So I messaged my boss and my project coordinator at work, and I said, look, I'm sitting at the Wellington station. I'm exhausted. I'm going home. I can't come in today. I'm not going to be productive. So I said, I'm taking a day. So I went back down. I did grab a coffee, waited for the next train, and I got home and I went home again, and I went to bed, and I probably slept for about 2 or 3 hours, and I just then I was just shattered. I think it just been too much. So I took Monday off, and but that meant that Tuesday to Friday I did extra work, because while I am allowed to take sick days, the work doesn't stop, and we're working to a deadline. And, you know, I had reporting due. It was end of month, so I had my end of month financials still to do, because I've been away half Thursday and the Friday, so I was kind of right on the last day. On the Monday was the last day for those, so I got the financials done like first thing Tuesday morning, and then I had to get my end of month reporting, and I had to get my steering group pack ready, because we've got to send them out, the papers out 2 days ahead of the meeting. So it was just a lot going on. And then we had some technical deadlines to meet to get like change approval to do start doing our releases next week. For the next 6 weekends, the next 6 or 7 weekends, I'm working 5 of them. Be working from home and probably mostly on the Saturday. But it's just a lot. We've got 5 releases to production through till the something of November. I should know, it's my project. These dates are drilled into me. Like 15th, I think. 15th of November is ideally the last production, kind of cut over at the weekend. Yeah, this is the big project that they kept me on for, so we're getting pretty close to the sharp end. There's just a lot going on. Blah, blah, blah. There you go. There's your 9 minutes of life update. I did end up, you know, I got a little bit of stitching done on Monday, because once I recovered, like by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I kind of felt like I could concentrate on something. So I did get a little bit of stitching done on the Monday. I worked from home Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, so I did get a little bit of extra stitching done those days. And Friday night I worked late, but I got home and I did have enough energy to do a few hours of stitching on Friday, and probably 3 hours yesterday between housework and spring cleaning. Like, I'm starting one into the house and working my way through. I started with my spare bedroom and pulled everything out of the closet, wardrobe, and you know, halfway through, once it gets to its worst state, you go, oh God, what have I done? I hate myself. I did manage to get a big carton of stuff to the hospice for donation, and I've started a second box. I threw a few things out. I found my grab and go bag. It's my emergency bag, which was buried in the corner of that wardrobe. No way in hell that I would have found that in a hurry if I needed to. I pulled that out and I've gone through it, and I've got a list of stuff I need to replace. Like some of the consumables are a bit beyond their best by. And sure, in an emergency I'd need it, but let's replace some of those things. And I need to check that all the torch and the radio and all that goes. Not sure if there's expiry on the glow stick, so there's a few things I need to go through and maybe update that. Very timely, given we had a really good shake here this morning about 5 o'clock. There was quite a, I think it was 5.9-ish, 5.8, 5.9 in the Cook Strait, about 33 k's deep. But I mean, I think it woke me up. Sometimes you can hear the I don't know, there's P waves and S waves. You can hear one of them if it's one of the waves. Earthquake for people who don't have earthquakes. We have lots of earthquakes in New Zealand, so it's not like an unusual thing, but a good shake is less often. So definitely I woke up and then the shake happened. So it was a something, and quite a few of my friends said they woke up like a minute before it went. And then some people, depending on where they live, got an emergency alert. I didn't, but that probably because I'm a little bit inland. So it wasn't too bad where I was, but it was a good little shake and woke me up, and I did my report, so I felt it. It's very timely that I do sort out that bloody grab and go bag, because, you know, we get a bit complacent, and given there's all these flooding down in Dunedin at the moment and weather events happening everywhere, it does pay to have that ready. Oh my god, that's 12 minutes of random. Should I show you some stitching? I know you're here for the stitching. I've got 2 minutes. I might just go check the bread because it says 2 minutes to go, and I put it on 2 minutes longer because my oven tends, fuck, you don't care about the oven. I can't be back. It's nowhere near ready. oh fuck it, I'm so random, I don't care. It's a feijoa loaf recipe, but I didn't actually have enough feijoas left because I've used them all up now in the freezer to make feijoa loaf. But I did bring back from Dad's, when I cleaned out his house, some of his preserves that he'd done, and he had a habit of preserving like apple and rhubarb puree, and that he would have like on, you know, Wheat Bix or ice cream or what have you. So I had a few jars of that, so I thought, well, rhubarb loaf would be quite nice. Maybe not, and you can kind of make apple cake. And I was like, it's a wet fruit, who cares? So I grabbed a jar of that, which was just a little bit shy of the 2 cups I needed to make 2 loaves of now rhubarb and apple loaf. It needs another 5 or 7 minutes. It's quite wet, so we'll push on for a bit longer. Okay, I promise, now that we're at like 14 minutes, taking out a minute that I'll probably cut out, stitching. Okay, I've got a little bit to show. Couple of weeks ago, I talked about I hadn't quite finished my ATC card for me. I did flash up a picture of the one. So I've been participating in a New Zealand ATC cross-stitch, or New Zealand cross-stitch ATC exchange. That's organised by Tony Simmons, and we had one for spring. And I talked about, I'd started a design, it didn't work, so I quickly looked through my stash and stitched up something that really is probably more summery, but I think it's really cute. So I have been stitching it twice, so I get to keep one for myself, you know, because I love to make more work for myself, but also I'm stitching things that I think are really cute, and so I want one too. So here's the one. I hadn't quite finished the one for me, so here it is in the flesh. This is the second one. I've got something in my eye, which is really annoying. It's a, shoot, I forgot it now. It doesn't matter. It's a chart that I had in my stash that had been passed on. It's on 40 count parchment linen from Country Stitch. It's a scrap I had, and using some of the called for and just some random substitutions. it's just a little, the original came with a little charm, so instead of where the little charm was, I just put my initials. Otherwise it's, yeah, so cute. And I wrap it around a bit of card with tape, and then I just tape another bit of card. This is just packaging that I keep in my stash, and I put a little paper, whatever, just so, you know, people can see what it is. So that's the second one I've done. That one's my one. And then I also had received my exchange, which came from Brittany. Thank you, Brittany. I don't know that Brittany watches. So she had, as part of getting me, because it's a mystery who is your person, and again, the theme was spring, but I really have to do something about this eye. I think it's an eyelash. So the theme was spring, spring 2024. So in September we exchanged. My curtains are blowing in the wind. She did a Hobbit house for me. She had reached out. Well, Tony had said, "Oh, someone wants to know what your favourite books are," and I'm like, God, I read this year I'm on 280 books I've read because I'm a demon. But I guess my first love, if I think about the books that I've read multiple times, I'm definitely high fantasy, even though I mostly read urban fantasy now, but I wouldn't reread urban fantasy because you don't need to. The Lord of the Rings, I've read maybe 4 times, and Hobbit at least 3 times. And also probably my favourite would actually be the Earthsea Now Quartet work by Ursula K. Le Guin. And she said she couldn't find anything to do with Earthsea, well, it used to be the Earthsea trilogy, Earthsea Quartet, and the 4th book got published a number of years later. And she did a Hobbit house for me. It's so cute. So I love it. So thank you again, Brittany. I did thank you via the group. And now we've got an actual summer exchange. I've got my person, and my person's a local person, so I'm excited about that. Also, this last week, I got my market, what's it called, Needlework Market haul. I had pre-ordered a few things through, where's the card, through Helen Barry at That Crafty Kiwi. I'll just hold that on the screen. Local folks, have a look at her website. I pre-ordered a few things. Should I be spending money? No, but I had gone most of the year. I needed it. No particular order. Forest of Zag. Now, the companion piece to this is called, I think it's Gardens of Zig, and the completist in me wants that. I need to check the oven. But I am not sure I really need it. So I'm going to just stick with Forest of Zag for now. Will I get Garden of Zig one day? Maybe. But anyway, the colours are me, right? It's so beautiful. It is charted for 5 cottage garden threads. I'm tempted to get the cottage garden threads, so we'll see. Maybe, yeah, I'll put that in the, when I get a new job pile to kit up. I was going to check the oven. Close, another 3 minutes. And then, of course, I'm just obsessed with the Artsy Housewife. This one's been out for a little while, so this wasn't a new release, I don't think. Might have come out earlier in the year. It might not, I might be full of crap. But Blue Moon, I mean, you know me and my, this is kind of taking the Fractal Birds, edging them more towards folk art. I think her style for me is this combination of a little bit fractory, definitely not prim, folk arty, gothic-y. It's just has an edge to it. It's like folk art with an edge, you know, emo folk art. Anyway, I got Blue Moon, love it. What is this one? It's all charted for DMC. Model stitched on 18 count by you by Atomic Ranch. I will definitely not be using that fabric, but it's amazing, and I want a tree with leaves that look like that. I love them so much. Love that one. Love it, love it, love it. And then this one here, just give me big blousy blooms, and I love this one. So I got October Blooms. I mean, I like several of your other ones as well, but one needs to be realistic about how much one can stitch when one has 45 projects kitted up and another 40 projects half kitted up and a bunch of stuff not kitted up at all. Like, come on, Leigh. But anyway, had to have it. Want to start it immediately. But I won't. It is charted. It does have a full DMC conversion, but it is charted, has classic Colourworks Polywog and a bunch of gentle arts that says you need multiple skeins of, which is when it was stitched 2/2 on 36 count. I would never stitch 2/2 on 36 count. I don't like it that thick. I would probably stitch it on 36 or 40 count, and I could totally be happy with one skein of it, one strand, because I just don't do 2/2, but it is nice and bold. The bold colour makes me think maybe I do it on 40 so that I get a little bit more depth of colour with the one strand, but who knows. Then I'll show you those because that's very un-Leigh. I got a couple of pin sets because I got these 3 crows. Now I know a lot of you think of crows or blackbirds, whatever they are. They're very cute. So these are by Puntini, bloody oven again. So now a lot of you think crows equals Halloween, and I'm like, no, crows equal gothic. So Quoth the Raven, etc. I got those just because they're really cute. I don't have any plans for them. I'll go back to the oven. They look pretty good, huh? Smells amazing. It smells like cake. And they have to cool in the tin now for at least 10 minutes. And the other pins I got, and it was all because of the pomegranate. You all know I like a pomegranate. And then the little wee fox is just adorable. We don't have foxes in New Zealand, but they're cute. And the, what is it, a bunch of grapes? Bunch of grapes, but it's the pomegranate. So again, I don't know, I'm going to have to stitch something that I can stick that damn pin into. But that's fine, I have it, and that's all that matters. And then the other three things I got are very, you know, I don't stitch Halloween except when I do, and I don't stitch Christmas except when I do. Could not pass these up. These are by Counting Puddles, and there are these 3 ornament stitches. They're quite big, 59 by 65. And they do use a bunch of specialty, like Trenway silks, some other flosses that I don't know. Should I show you the picture? No, I'm going to keep it a secret. Sorry, yeah, they're Trenway silks, but they have something called 65 Roses, and it's got a, I don't even know what it is. It's got like a trademark kind of logo. I don't know. I'm gonna do it with DMC or Fancy Floss. I don't care. So I probably won't stitch them on 28 count like the model is. Models are on 28 count, Smoky Pearl, Lichen, Cashel Linen from Zweigart. But look at it. So there is, what is it called? Snowflake Sheep Ornament. It's so cute. I mean, given, you know, we don't have snow at Christmas and I'm allergic to wool. But however, it's adorable because it's quirky and weird and cute, and I like it. And then I also got the snowflake goat. Goats freak me out even though I'm a Capricorn. Not that I really give much for star signs, but I am a Capricorn. But I say remind people we're a sea goat, we have a mermaid tail, so, or a fish tail. Anyway, I got the goat. Its eyes closed, which is right because, you know, their eyes are really creepy. But this is the one that I had to get this one. Snowflake llama. I love it. Fa la 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 llama. It's adorable. So yeah, I am going to be stitching these, but not this year. But I've got them because I need Christmas ornaments. Like I do every second year, put up a tree, and I do put ornaments on it. I do enjoy a good tree. I just don't really do Christmas, but I don't know if you noticed, but their bodies are in quilty design, like, what do you call them? Like Quaker designs. Did you see? They're so cute. Look at that. Amazing. And then as part of the parcel, I got a bunch of little kind of gift with purchase designs from Sweet Wing Studio and Jean Parish Needlework. So you need to buy some stuff and get these amazing designs. This is from Praiseworthy Stitches. It says Joy. I love that flower. That's so cool. And it's in colours like Brick, Tarragon, Grasshopper, Louisiana Hot Sauce. So you know that that red tulip design with the Joy is going to be in my colours. Old Willow Stitchery. Cute. And this is called Don't Piss Off the Fairies. It's from Primitive Hair. So it's got like a very kind of, I'm going to say traditional looking pixie. Like a not Disney fairy, a kind of high fantasy fairy. You Melt My Heart from, where's that from? cherryblossom.quilting.com. I have to go, I don't even know half of these people. I have to go and check them out, which is I guess the whole idea of them giving these away, right? Is, hey, I also do stuff. Samplers and Primitives, Summer Bouquet. This digital model looks very washed out, and I'm sure it looks way nicer stitched. It's got several pieces of paper. And it's just charted DMC. So yeah, thanks a lot for all of that little haul, Helen. Like, I need more charts, like a hole in the head. And I did some stitching. I had picked this up again last Sunday, or the Sunday week ago, when I did, you know, after my last FLOSSTUBE, and I had shown you where I was. So I picked that up on the Sunday, and I did a little bit of stitching until I got the news about my aunt on the Monday. And then when I got back, I just picked it up and I finished it because it was so close to a finish and I wanted it finished. So I talked about waiting and finishing it on the 18th of November, which would be Moroccan Independence Day, and then I was like, nah, just gonna stitch it. So this was started back in 2022 as part of my 50 at 50. It was number 44 start on 36 count Persimmon linen from Fibre on a Whim using my own DMC conversion, and I finished it on my dad's birthday. All right, so the day I got back was also my dad's birthday, so I was also feeling a bit, you know, I don't know, just sad. So I finished it on Dad's birthday, the 29th of September, 2024. And here it is. I'll pull it in a little bit close because some of it, a couple of the lighter colours are a bit tricky to see on camera, but they're quite visible. So the yellow and that lighter blue are a little bit, probably a little bit low contrast. You know, I probably should have picked slightly darker colours, but I don't care. I really like it. So it's done and I'm really happy with it. So yay for a finish in the bag. I then was like, what else can I finish? My Halloween cross stitch ball is the answer. So this is by Cherry Parker Designs. I used all the called for 25 count Lugana from Zweigart, and mostly the called for. I did substitute a couple of the overdyes. There's a couple of, I think throughout the whole pattern chart there was maybe 3 or 4 DMC variations and 3 or 4 Weeks Dye Works, and a couple of them where you could was suggested of variations or Weeks Dye Works. So let's say there were 6 non-DMC standard colours throughout, and I substituted 3 or 4 of them. And like at one stage when I did the eyeball, I could not for the life of me find the right colour. I knew it was in a kit, it was in a bag somewhere and I couldn't find it, so I just pulled the next shade. And then as I was putting everything away from de-kitting it, because I always de-kit pretty much straight away, I found that the colour was already in the bag. It was in the project, but I just didn't think it was. Anyway, so I started this on the 30th of March and I finished the stitching on the 3rd of October, and I am going to try and get it fully finished by Halloween. So I'm going to be working a lot of these weekends, but for me as a project manager, the working is being online and just coordinating and keeping an eye on anything, reminding people, calling people if they're not responding on Teams, making sure they saw the update, because, you know, we have this massive run sheet that goes, you know, this roll does this, this and this. Around 10 a.m. they'll do this, then they'll hand it over for a check. They'll have all these stage gates. So when I say I'm working, it's just I have to be wedded to my computer for the weekend. So it'll be like, cool, the data upload's happening for the next 6 hours. I don't need to do, you know, I don't need to hang around my computer. I can go do stuff. But then when we're doing testing and stuff, I'm just coordinating a whole bunch of stuff. So long way around to say that over the next few weekends, I should be able to get I'll get a little bit of hand stitching done. I'm going to not do it all in one sitting like I did with the flowers ball, but I've got everything ready now. There is a few little things to sew on a couple of these. I'm going to back them with the iron-on batting and then sew the charms on, because I need to iron everything over ready for basting, and I'll sew the charms on when I do the basting, because I need to iron everything and I can't iron with the charms. So I've got a few charms and buttons and things. So since you last saw it, the two new ones are this one with the pot cauldron, jeez, and the witch. And pretty much anywhere you see this orange, this is a Tom and Lily. I didn't use either the Weeks Dye Works or the Variations options. It's one of my substitutions, and I just used that orange all the way through. It's the same one in the pumpkins, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. So those are the 6 octagons that make up the main 6 faces of the ball, and then we've got the 8 hexagons, and all 4 at the top are new. You haven't seen any of those. This the chart calls for sew some black sequins on. I don't have any of the right size. One can't buy 2. I'm going to sew buttons because it reminds me of the other mother from Caroline. So I'm going to get little buttons, put them on there, and then it says spells, and what does it say? Oh, the book says spells, secrets, and Halloween. It is easy to see in person. Some little ghosties. Love that candelabra. So those are done. And of course this one has a big spider in it. I've got 2 options. And then we've got the 12 little squares. And the new ones are those top 4, the eyeball through to the candle. That eyeball, that's the green, that's the slightly wrong shade of green, but again, does it matter? No. So yeah, eyeball, poisons, boo, and the candelabra. So that is all 10 of those. Really happy with those. So yeah, exciting to get that stitching finished. So I did have to catch up. So that was stitching all of the part 5 and part 6. I think I showed you finishing part 4 the other week. And then, and so when I was at Anne's, last Sunday I took this along with my pattern keeper. So I took, because I did not get any of my September stitching done for my 2 leap year sale stitch alongs. So I took along Procession of Princesses, and I got a good start on it, and I got all of the dark green in this bush here stitch when I was at Anne's. It was like 870 stitches or something. And then when I came home, I then finished all those other things off. But then I picked, once I'd finished Halloween cross stitch ball, which was I finished it stitching on the 3rd of October. I then picked Procession of Princesses back up. This is from Vivsters on Etsy, and this is, you know, aiming to finish this in 4 years on the next leap day. I'm on 20 count Ivory Aida from Zweigart using Call for DMC, and started it on leap day this year. I am now caught up, so I've done both months. So I'm back caught up again with September and October stitching on this one. So I just have a little what's it. that I just keep track of what my goal is each month. So of course if I miss a month, I then will aim to catch up. So this is 2 years worth of goals. So I managed to get all of that. So I stitched exactly 3,316 stitches to get me exactly to 13,600, which is my, how many months is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 month goal. And so I told you about that bush. So I got the bush, that pink shrub thing filled in. So I had done all the green and Anne's, I got all the pink in. And then I probably could have stitched or filled in. I probably didn't. I like to finish a whole thing if I can. I'm not going to be able to in here. That I probably could have done that one or that one, but I didn't want to do that one without doing that one. I just stitched about 1,300 black stitches. So I've got a lot of more black outline in. Here's some of the ladies coming through. These are shrubs, you know, bushes and greenery. But yeah, it's so exciting seeing the ladies' dresses come in. Very excited about this one because it's all very yellowy, a yellowy one, which will be a nice power of colour. But anyway, it's looking so good. So I do still have my other leap year sale piece, the Women in Profile, to catch up on. That has more because that's about 2,500 stitches a month. So I've got about 5,000 stitches on that one to get that caught up. So given it's only the 6th of October, that should be fine to bring that out. And then I'm looking at what else I can finish. So I'm just trying to pick something each month till the end of the year that try and get it finished. I've got a couple of projects that should be able to get finished. So I'm going to pull out today something you haven't seen for a little while, which is the Jeanette Douglas. Jeanette Douglas got lots of specialty stitches. I kitted up all with my own random silks. Something 2, common thread 2. So I'm going to pull that out. That's one that I stitched half in a frame in a nurse hoop because it has a lot of like long stitches, like with Bargello and Hungarian stitch and queen stitches and things, so they are a little bit easier to do in a hoop. So working my way, be quite keen to get that one finished this year, so we might just keep that out until it's finished. And then I need to get cracking on my Women in Profile because I want that caught up by the end of October. We got there in the end, a little bit longer one. I know some of you like that, even if it was padded out with about 15 minutes of rambling, but you know me, I'm a rambler. Yeah, it's pissing down. It was so sunny before, now it's actually cold, so I don't even know. I put shorter pants on and, you know, linen, and now I kind of go, maybe I need socks and to change my pants for long pants, but it's just weird spring we're having. I had something to say and I forgot what it was. Yeah, thinking of everyone down in Dunedin, and I mean, obviously there's been some terrible weather going on over in the States and like Northern Carolina, is it? I've stayed away from the news, to be fair. It makes me too depressed. But yeah, I hope everyone, you know, keep safe and keep dry if you can. Make sure you've got your emergency supplies, maybe do a bit of a recce and get them updated or replaced or what have you, so that we do have, you know, the means to look after ourselves if we need to. But yeah, otherwise, take care, enjoy your stitching, and I don't want any more funerals this year. I'm just saying, I've had my quota. So all going well. I'll see you next Sunday, and wish me luck for all my multiple releases to production. You know, the only reason I'm here is to deliver stuff, so I meant at work. I mean in general. Obviously I'm here to stitch and read books and avoid housework if I can. Okay, take care, and yeah, thanks again for all your support, and I'll see you next week. Until then, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.